Welcome to Soul Wellness with Kristen, where we get into the nitty-gritty of various holistic modalities and explore exactly how they help you heal. I'm your host, Kristen, and I invite you to join me on this enlightening expedition where we explore the connection between mind, body, and spirit. In each episode, we'll talk in depth with holistic providers, medical professionals, therapists, and healers. Our goal is to empower you with knowledge, inspire you with stories of resilience, and provide practical tools that you can integrate into your daily life. So, find a comfortable space and join us as we explore the multifaceted world of holistic wellness. Get ready to learn how to improve every aspect of your life and simply feel good. The adventure begins now. Thank you for joining us. Today I have a very special guest with me, Dianette Wells, who is a local lady and has done some amazing things in her life, and we're going to have a really cool conversation, so welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
I'm so excited to be sitting here with you. I learned about you, I guess, a few weeks ago, and through a documentary on YouTube about your incredible son.
Well, that documentary technically is not supposed to be on YouTube, but it's also on Peacock, and it's called American Daredevil, and I think on YouTube it's called Born to Fly, Johnny Strange. But yeah, it's a great, great documentary.
It really is. How did you start your adventurous life? When did it all start for you? Because you've done some really amazing things, like you've climbed Mount Everest twice.
I have. It started innocently enough with 10 of my close friends in Malibu, a bunch of moms, and we went to go climb Mount Whitney together. And it was so much fun. I hadn't laughed that hard in so long or been that physically challenged in so long. But that one climb kind of put me on this trajectory towards, doing everything I've done to this point.
That's incredible. What an adrenaline rush. And a sense of accomplishment. Yeah,
and the adrenaline rush, that's the big thing is, like my son would have instant adrenaline rushes when he would wingsuit or skydive, where my sports, it's more of a slow adrenaline rush because you're slogging kind of slowly up a mountain, or an adventure race is kind of a 6 to 10 day thing. So it's not a constant adrenaline rush, but I think the preparation and at the start line, 100%, it's all adrenaline. The finish line is a bit of adrenaline, but there's a long gap before it hits.
Yeah, but then you've got that just sense of gratification that you did it.
Yeah, but sadly, it's always equally, what's next? What's the next one? You're constantly chasing, the next goal and challenge.
So what else have you done? How many years have you been doing this?
That first Mount Whitney climb was in 1998.
Okay.
The following year, I did Kilimanjaro, and that kind of started it. And Akili was in 99, and then I met Mark Burnett, who was the producer and creator of Eco Challenge, which is an adventure race. And so starting in 99, late 99, I started adventure racing, and that kind of opened up my world to extreme endurance sports.
And what is adventure racing?
So adventure racing, and if you really want a good look at it, on Amazon Prime, it's called World's Toughest Race, Eco Challenge. It's an incredible series. It's a really in-depth view of what adventure racing is, and it's a team, and you have to have one of the opposite sex on your team. I was usually, and my nickname was Token. I was the token female. And it's nonstop on your market, set, go. And they're usually 6 to 10 days, multi-disciplines. And the discipline kind of depends on the terrain and whatever the race director and course designer come up with. And you have to stay together. If one of you drops out, you're all out.
Okay.
So it's really a team effort. And they're just, I can't describe how much fun they are. They're absolutely grueling, and you just are praying for death, but it's just so much fun.
You're on foot, you're on
bike. It can be rafts that you had to make, ropes, swimming, just again, depending on where the race is and what the race director wants.
Okay, so the race director is coming up with how this race is going to go, what you have to do, your obstacles, and all of that.
And the course designer, too.
Okay.
Yeah. They come up with it all. And also, you're limited by the terrain. If you're going over some big mountain pass in the jungle, you're obviously only doing that by foot, which, can take days to get through the jungle. It just depends on the location.
Are you having to take everything with you as far as your food and everything, your water?
Yes, and food, you have gear boxes at the different check-ins because you're not going to carry your climbing gear.
Right.
Unless the race director is just being really mean and will make you carry that stuff through a jungle trek. That has happened. But usually you're just carrying what you need for that particular section and or the next section. Food is kept to a minimal because you can only carry so much, because the more you carry, the slower you are. So it's a line of what do we need versus what can we shed to go faster.
Incredible. And then you give birth to this amazing son who obviously genetically acquired the same adventure. I mean, really and truly.
Yeah, he was a little crazy like his mom, for sure. He begged. He would see me going off to these races, and he would cry and beg, "Please let me race." And I'd say, "Johnny, you have to go talk to Mark Burnett about that. It's his rule. You have to be 18." And so I would always blame it on Mark.
Right.
And I knew that, once he turned 18, I would love to race with him. By the time he turned 18, he had just finished climbing the 7 summits. He was really into wingsuiting, and Mark stopped doing adventure racing, his Eco Challenge race, just because the liability is so extreme. I mean, a number of people have died during races, and, Mark wanted no part of that, and, the liability, Mark had a lot to lose. So, yeah, and then by the time there was one final Eco Challenge in 2019, and that if Johnny had been alive, 100% he would have been on my team.
Incredible. Well, I get so much out of watching the documentary on Johnny, just about being present, about truly enjoying life, about really, really living, because I think so many of us don't truly do that. We get so stuck in our own grind that we're not really living, we're not really present. I know we're not really present because I can tell you the times in my life when I have been truly present, and it's usually doing something adventurous, something where it's taking all of your senses.
Yep.
So it's really inspirational to see somebody that, I feel like he incarnated truly to live this way and to teach all of us there's more to life than just this grind.
He would say that all the time. He said something about monks will study decades to get the same feeling that he gets every time he flew. And he described it to me. I said, "Oh my gosh, I would have to have like 10 shots of tequila before I would ever jump off a cliff." And he said, "Mom," he said, "no, you are so present," and which is almost a high in itself, because I'm always thinking, I've got 20 different thoughts going on in my head at the same time.
Same.
It's horrible. And now with, my phone, it's hard for me to watch TV without also being on my phone. And I just think, when did that happen?
I'm the same way.
It's awful.
I'll be doing a word puzzle while something else is on the TV, and for some odd reason that relaxes my brain. I'm thinking, why do I need multiple stimulus to really unwind? I do the same thing.
It's awful, and that's kind of why I like to go to movie theaters so much. One, I love the big screen. I don't want to see a movie on my TV. I want to do it in a movie theater, but I also like it that I cannot be on my phone in a movie theater.
True.
I am forced to sit there and pay attention and be, present with this movie going on.
Yes.
So, yeah.
I love it. I recommend anybody to watch Johnny Strange. I got a lot out of it. And like I told you before, I've watched it a few times, and I probably will watch it a few more times. It's very touching to me.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was wild. I was on Kilimanjaro when the producers, Eamon Harrington and John Watkins, I think it was John who called, and said, hey, can you talk to Johnny and see if he would talk to us about, we want to do a movie about wingsuiting. And I said, well, I'm in Africa right now, but here's his cell phone, just call him. And I'm like, okay. So he walked in to meet with Eamon, and they didn't expect to start filming right then. They expected this kid to walk in, and it was funny. He said, we were expecting some long-haired, kind of pot-smoking kid to walk in, and in walks Johnny looking like a Navy SEAL.
Right.
And Eamon said, would you mind if I just started interviewing you right now? And so we've got all this footage of all that, and some of which is in the movie when he's got that brown T-shirt on. He's directly
that
into
makes sense. Okay.
So they started filming him, and he died doing the subject of their movie, because it was originally going to be called The Sixth Season, and Johnny was jumping. This was his sixth season. And coincidentally, I had been on a plane maybe 4 or 5 years before that, watching a documentary on base jumping. And in that documentary, someone said the average lifespan of a base jumper is 6 years. Once they start jumping, it's 6 years and they die. And this was Johnny's 6th year.
That's what blew me away in the documentary, is how well it was put together. And now that makes sense, is that they were filming this during the whole sequence of events.
And we didn't even know. We didn't know until afterwards that they had kept filming. And then they came to my ex-husband and I and said, we want to finish this film. And my family was kind of on the fence, but I felt Johnny started this film with them.
Right.
And who lives a life where someone makes a movie about you? So we were on board as a family, but as a family, we wanted it to end on a positive note. We did not want people to watch this and, dread things. We wanted them to walk out of seeing this feeling like high on life.
Yes.
And that's what we got out of it.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm laughing and crying when I watch this, because he was so funny, and he did live such a crazy, funny life that he just enjoyed life.
Yeah. Which, like I said, it's so inspirational. Such an inspirational piece of work. So there's also a book involved. You were telling me that. Talk to me about that.
Well, for decades, people have said, oh, you've got to write a book about your crazy, sports stuff. As a Malibu mom and housewife, not a lot of us were doing these things. So right. I was kind of always the weird one, coming home from a race or a climb, and usually beat up, and people looking at me like, what is wrong with you? And so finally, so I just started, writing here and there. And during COVID, I was like, okay, well, I'm going to finish this. So I brought my computer out of the office. I sat it at the kitchen table, and every morning I would write. And I had no idea how to write a book. I had kept notes of different events and climbs and whatnot, but to sit down and write a book, I had no idea how.
Right.
So I literally started off on, I was born on this day, and just did a timeline.
Yeah.
And then thankfully, a great editor and co-writer who took my 80-some thousand words and made it into something readable and cohesive. So, yeah, I wrote a book called Another Step Up the Mountain, and we have a new publisher, which I'll announce it here, and no one knows yet, but with Flint Hills Publishing, and this woman, Thea Rademacher, is just an enlightened, amazing woman who owns the publishing company, and I am so excited to work with her. And so, yeah, it is, I guess, the terminology being re-released, or however you say that in the publishing world. That is coming out in the beginning of 2026.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah, so I'm really excited about that. And it talks a lot about Johnny and the aftermath, and what led up to all of that. And it was fun to write because, yeah, I'm just, if you saw me outwardly, you just think, oh, just this Malibu housewife who just drives in circles all day taking her kids to all these their activities. But on the side, I was, climbing and racing, and which I've had people say, men usually, oh, you don't look like you could climb something, or you don't look like you could do this, and you just laugh and smile, and I guess that's a compliment. I don't know. What am I supposed to look like?
Right.
But, yeah.
Oh, that's so exciting. I can't wait for this book to come out. That sounds amazing. So I bet in this book, are you talking about healing and resilience and what all you've been through?
It's part of the story.
It was probably very healing to write.
It was. It was painful. It took years to write it because things come up that you just don't even want to think about, much less have to be present enough for to write down on a page. Right. So, yeah, but eventually it ended up being very cathartic to just get it out of my head and onto paper. And you just kind of see, I mean, people who've lost somebody close to them, and especially a kid, you think that you are not going to survive the next day, much less a year, or now we just had the 10-year anniversary of his death, and you think, how did 10 years go by so quickly, and how did I survive that? Because in the beginning, I didn't want to survive it. I did not want to be here. I couldn't imagine, like, living without him.
Yeah.
And here we are 10 years later.
Here we are, and you're proof of resilience and healing and all of that. I'm sure you had a lot of support around you too.
I did. I'm so blessed with the most amazing friends anybody could have. Yeah, there's no way I would be here without my friends.
Yeah. Well, I'm so thankful that you found Soul Wellness, because that's what put us together, and that's how we're sitting here.
Me too. I don't know if your if your listeners know, but this is the most beautiful brick building, and I found it through a meetup group of a class that was going on here, and it is a place that combines all these, different healers and modalities, and I love coming here. It's just so much fun.
I love coming here too. I do, and I feel like, if you're into spiritual modalities and you're looking to heal, you can just go door to door and just really, whether it's mind, body, soul, whatever you need.
It's amazing. Could you imagine if every city had one of these?
I know. Maybe I'll get there. I would like to replicate this business. I would like to start putting it in other cities and give people a resource.
Yeah.
I firmly believe you need to have some resources.
But also I look at it from all of the practitioners here. They're small business owners. And to give them a place to have this very professional, beautiful setting, I look at how helpful that is to all of them too. So you're not only offering it to the people who come through the doors, but to the people who work here.
It's definitely twofold. I'm so passionate about helping people break out of the corporate grind. I was there myself, and I felt like I was literally dying. My soul was just dying, and I thought, there's just got to be more to life than this. I was not living. I was not being present. I was not having fun, and I just knew there has to be more to life. And when I finally came up with the concept of this business and got it built, it became 3D. I have never felt like I worked again. I feel so enlightened. I come in and I am just full of gratitude. I look at the wall of practitioners, all of their pictures, and I think, oh my gosh. I mean, there's so much talent in this building. Yeah. It's incredible. It really is. So that's been a huge growth for me. So now I love helping people that are trying to break out of corporate as well, and like, do it.
Yeah, I mean, life is short. You need to be doing something that makes you happy.
Yes, and you know very well life is short. I mean, there is no guarantee for any of us.
No, and it can also, if you're miserable, it can seem very long.
Right?
So, yeah.
That's very true. I guess since I feel like time is flying, I must be having a good time.
Exactly.
I must be having some fun. But yeah, I mean, I very much admire you and the way that you've lived your life. I very much admire the way that your son lived his life. You guys have fun.
Yeah, I'm trying.
Yeah. Have you had close calls yourself out there?
Oh,
I'm sure you have. Tell me about some of that.
Okay. The first one that really, well, there have been numerous. One, I was kayaking with Johnny. I flipped my kayak over and I couldn't get out. Thankfully, he came, got me out. A river during an eco challenge in Borneo. My teammate and I went over a rapid, and we shot for the V, which we were supposed to do, but we went down so deep and we were now stuck in this hole. And I was immediately out of my body. I saw how I was My teammate was next to me. I had 2 ropes going across me that were holding our backpacks because he was swimming. We were both swimming freehand, and he was pulling our backpacks by this rope. And I'm looking at the whole situation from above, and I thought, after all this is how and before I could say the word die, we were regurgitated back up because the water is kind of like a washing machine. And we both grabbed onto this boulder, got ourselves out of the spin cycle, and just looked at each other and started laughing. Like, can you believe we just survived that? Talk about an adrenaline rush. That will do it.
Oh, my God.
What else happened? I was in the hospital after Fiji, the second Fiji race, and very high fever. I had cellulitis, and who else knows what was going on. And I saw the white light, and I looked at it like, is that and it very, like, with force and with meaning, it closed, and the message was, not yet.
Not your time.
Not your time. And it was the first time since Johnny died where I was very okay with being here on the planet. It's like, okay, I'm supposed to be here.
It gives me chills.
What do we do? Now what do we do? Mm-hmm. So yeah, I've had, and on 3, maybe 4, I'm not sure about the 4th, but 3 occasions I've heard a voice that is not mine, and it has saved my life 3 times. So there is definitely my guardian angel who I listen to. And one, I was climbing the Matterhorn. Another time I was mountain biking in Deer Valley. And another time that I heard it, I was doing a bike race across America. And
was it a specific message, as in, don't cross that bridge or don't go over there? Or?
Very short. In the Matterhorn, it was no, just the word no. And I sat up in the middle of the night, a few hours before we were supposed to start. And I thought, who's talking in their sleep? And the voice, though, was very powerful. And I thought, well, that's weird. And I just went back to sleep. But then about 45 minutes from the summit, I understood what that voice was. And I looked at my guide. I said, we're done. I want to go down.
Wow.
Which, of course, he was like, are you crazy? We're so close. And I just said, nope, we need to go down now. And then in Deer Valley, I was mountain biking. It was fall. The leaves were covering the trail. And a root that I didn't see grabbed the front of my tire. And I went over the handlebars, and I heard the word duck. And it was the same voice. I ducked, and I hit that tree so hard. It hit my shoulder first, then my hip, then my ankle. So my ankle was the 3rd point of contact, and I couldn't flex it for a month. So I would have hit head first if I hadn't ducked. And then the other time I heard it, Race Across America, which is a bike race. You're going as fast as you can when it's your turn to be on the bike. And I am flying down this hill in the middle of the night. I'm in the lights of my chase car, and I'm going over 40 miles an hour.
Oh my God.
And I hear, slow down. I thought, oh my God, it's that voice again, which the last thing you want to do is slow down. And I'm thinking, do I really want to slow down? And I just knew, you know what? You know this voice? Listen. I slowed down, and sure enough, at the bottom of that hill, the train tracks were askew to the road. So if I had hit them at that speed, at that angle on a road bike, it would have been ugly.
Oh my goodness.
And so, yeah, and I finally have a face to that voice, which has been great, and I won't get into how that happened, but yeah, I'm trying to get more and more aware and more in tune with the other side, but...
Sounds like you might have met your spirit guide.
I did.
I love it.
I did. Yeah, and for me, once I've stepped onto this path of spirituality and all of that, it's hard to... You don't want to get off that path. And I'm just in the baby steps beginning, but really, really enjoying, and I'm thrilled by what I'm learning.
Yeah.
And it's like this whole new world has opened up.
It is, and it's very comforting. Healing, comforting, and you're not alone. You do have guidance.
Yep.
You are being looked out for. Yeah, I had a similar introduction through breath work. workshop. Well, I don't know if it was a workshop. It was just me and the breathwork practitioner in Sedona. And I had heard before seeing her, a meditation specialist had told me, he said, this will be better than any drug you could ever imagine. And I thought, what? Wonder what that meant, you know? Now, looking back, I know what he meant.
Yeah. Breathwork is great.
It was pretty cool. But I had about an hour conversation with my spirit guide. I was like, okay, that's not bad. Not bad at all.
It's amazing. And it's just breathing that any of us can do anytime, anywhere. And that's the thing about all of this, is that you can find so much on YouTube or by books, that it's not like you're shelling out, $400 a week for 20 years and still dealing with the same issue that you originally showed up for.
Right.
It's like there are ways to get out of our ruts and our daily, all of our problems. We just have to be open to it.
Be open to it, yes. And curious enough to find the root cause of it. I think some people just like to stuff it down and don't deal with it, or maybe take a prescription to numb it, don't deal with it, don't look at it. But just like when you were talking about writing your book, journaling is such a huge piece of the big picture for me. If I'm really trying to dig into something, I can start journaling and it will come out. It might not be on the first or second page, but by the third or fourth page of just writing, here it comes.
Wow.
And it's like, oh my God, I would have never put that together just thinking. But now I see what I'm dealing with.
That's incredible. Huh. Yeah, mine will come to me when I'm hiking or doing something that's for, sustained many hours, and then I can go away in my head. And for me, that's my meditation.
Yeah.
Hiking has gotten me through so much in life. And yeah, so now it's, okay, how do we keep the body in to not fall apart and be able to hike for the next 20 years? Yeah.
Have you got any pearls for us?
Epidurals, those are a great thing. I'm about to get my 7th one.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Oh.
And it's funny because every now and again I'll have a doctor who says, why don't you just join a gym or just stay in the pool? And I think, that's a great way for me to go find a different doctor, but thank you for your opinion.
Right.
So, yeah.
What's next on the agenda as far as climbs or hikes or anything?
Oh, there's so many. I want to climb Choyu very badly in Ama de Blanc. I would love to go back to Everest and climb that again with Lhotse right next door. But what is on the calendar is another climb of Whitney, rafting the Grand Canyon, again, paddling
nice.
that, which is so much fun. I'm doing a climb in the spring for a woman who's doing a series for Nat Geo, so I'm not sure where that climb is yet. But yeah, I've got some fun things, and I have a daughter getting married and graduating from business school, so that will be pretty epic.
Yes.
And yeah, I'm always up for anything. If someone has a team and wanted to do Race Across America, count me in. So right now I'm just kind of in the open mode and to see what's out there, what sponsorship is out there, what climbs are available, and just kind of doing that.
How do you stay in shape just on a regular week?
Well, yeah, sadly going to the gym. I haven't been hiking here yet. I just moved here in March. I have not climbed anything here yet. I've been traveling a lot. But yeah, this winter is kind of on my list of, okay, we're going to choose one climb a week and go do it. I don't have a climbing group or a hiking group here yet, but
yeah,
I don't mind going by myself. Yeah, just kind of life. I did join a dragon boat racing team here. So yes, so that was my workout from April until about a month ago, and training 3 times a week with them, and then going to different cities to race, which is so much fun. Fun people, and it's a great core workout.
Oh, it sounds like it. Yeah.
So that's been fun.
Very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'm going to be 60 in April, and as some people think, oh, you should be slowing down now, and I don't want to slow down just yet.
No way.
I don't have to go at 1,000,000 miles an hour, but just, age is a number, and just because people think, oh, well, now you should be in a rocking chair now, or you're a grandmother now, you should be stopping these things. I mean, why stop doing something that makes you really happy?
Absolutely.
We have to keep we have to keep our minds and our bodies active as we age because, we don't want to be 70 and not able to do things we love.
Yeah, that's what keeps you young.
Yeah.
My parents are prime examples. They're both in their late 80s and still living independently and doing their thing. My dad works every day. It's just, there's something about keeping your mind busy and keeping your body moving, for sure.
And purpose.
Yes.
What is your purpose?
Yes.
Which I still wonder, what is my purpose here?
Yeah.
So, yeah, hopefully I'll discover it.
I think you're inspiring lots of people. That could be part of your purpose.
Thanks. Yeah.
Really and truly. Really and truly.
Well, thank you.
Tell us where we can find your book before it's released, or if we can find your book before it's released.
So the re-release happens, I'm guessing sometime early 2026, or it could be in the spring, but if you go to my website, dianettewells.com, you can order one through there and I can send it to you. And again, for Johnny's movie, if you want to see that, it's on Peacock called American Daredevil, or you can go to YouTube and I think it's called Born to Fly, Johnny Strange.
Yes. I highly, highly recommend everyone that is listening to this go watch it. The scenery in it is beautiful. The message is beautiful. What an amazing soul. What an amazing soul.
Thanks. He is. I feel he's, when I'm doing these sports, and especially if I'm skiing fast, I feel him there.
100%. I imagine that you would have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's either, am I going to join him soon and I need to slow down, or what? Or is he just having fun?
Right? Is he just coming along?
Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you so much for being with me today. It's been such a pleasure to meet you and to hear your story.
Well, thank you, and thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for joining us on another enriching episode of Soul Wellness with Kristen. We hope the insights shared today have resonated with you, inspiring a deeper connection to your own journey towards holistic well-being. If you enjoyed today's episode, we invite you to subscribe, share, and reach out. Your feedback fuels our mission to bring you meaningful content that educates, empowers, and uplifts. Remember, you are a vital part of this community, and together we're creating a ripple effect of positive change.